Hi, Hopia class. Welcome back. So today we're going to start on subtraction of decimals. So let's get ready. Okay. Are we all focused and showing good sitting? Then let's get started. So just now you have watched the number route video on subtraction with regrouping. So before we touch on decimals, let's do a quick recap on subtracting whole numbers. Okay, so same as your addition, we always start from the right. Okay, so for addition, we start adding from the right. Same for subtraction, also we start subtracting from the right. So in this case, the digits on the right are in the place. Okay, and on the left of the ones, you know it is the tens place, followed by your hundreds place, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. Okay, so this is your whole numbers, places. Then let's start subtracting the ones place first. So 0 ones minus 1 1. Can 0 minus 1? I don't think there's enough to subtract, right? So what can we do is we need to go to the next door to regroup. Okay, so we take away 1 10, then we're only left with 2 10s. So taking away 1 10 and regroup it into 10 ones. Okay, so now we have 10 ones and we are going to take away 1 1. So 10 minus 1 will give us 9 ones. Okay, then what's next? Okay, so we already have the working over here. So 10 ones minus 1 1 will give us 9 ones. Then the next step, we move on to the left to subtract the tens place. So 2 10s minus 1 10, that will give us 1 10. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, just like your addition from the right to the left. Okay, always do that when you do your addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Okay, so now let's move on to subtracting decimals. So it's the same thing. You look at the numbers, they remain the same. But what I'm doing is I'm just adding in the decimal point. I'm adding in the bicycle wheel. Remember a bicycle wheel? Okay, so the same rule applies, subtracting from right to left. So the first place that I'm going to subtract on the right, that would be your tens place. Okay, and on the left of your tens, that will be your ones place. And followed by the tens place, which there is nothing over here. So it's okay, we don't need it. You can just cancel it away as there is no digits inside. Okay, so starting from right to left, let's subtract the tens place first. So 0 tens minus 1 tenth. So there's not enough tens to take away. So I have to regroup. I'm going to take away 1 1. So I'm left with 2 ones. Okay, and then that will give me 10 tenths. Okay, so 10 tenths plus a 0 tenths, that will give me 10 tenths. Then with that, I can take away 1 tenth, and that will give me 9 tenths. Okay, then let's continue. We move on to the left to subtract the ones place. So 2 ones minus 1 1 will give us 1 1. Okay, and we get 1.9 or 19 tenths. Okay, now before you move on to your student pace near part, I'm going to go through again 2 questions so that you can do your part independently later. Okay, so let's take a look at first question. But before that, okay, always remember that we always have to check that your decimal points are aligned in one straight line. Just like your addition, decimal points have to be in one straight line. Okay, now let's take a look at the first question. So question says, find the difference between their volumes, between beaker A and beaker B. Okay, I'm going to find the difference. So I know that difference, I have to subtract greater minus smaller. So take a look at the volume of water in both beakers. Which is the greater volume? Okay, if you need to draw your place value chart to help you, you can draw it here as part of your working. So your decimal point will be over here. That will be 0.9 versus 0.365. Okay, remember your place values. Comparing, we always compare from left to right. Okay, so in this case, 9/10 is greater than 3/10. So this 9 would be greater, whereas the other one would be smaller. Okay, so now we know which is greater, which is smaller. Then let's move on to our subtraction working. Okay, so we have 0.9, that is 9/10. Taking away 0.365 liters from it. Okay, if I need to draw my lines to separate my digits, I can do it this way. Okay, but if you don't need, it's fine. So let's subtract from right to left. Remember our rule, always subtract and add from right to left. So in this case, blank minus 5/100. Okay, what is this blank? So we know that blank means nothing and it means a 0, hundredths, and a 0, thousands. Okay, sorry, the 5 is in the thousands place, not the hundredths. Okay, so now let's start subtracting from right to left. So 0,000s minus 5,000s. Okay, that's not enough to subtract, so I have to go next door to regroup. But I cannot borrow from 0, hundredths. So I have to go to the tens place and take 1/10, which I'm only left with 8/10 after that, to give me 10 hundredths. And now I can regroup 100ths into 10,000s. Okay, so 10,000s minus 5,000s will give me 5,000s. Okay, then 900ths minus 600ths will give me 300ths. 8/10 minus 3/10 will give me 5/10. Then 0 1s minus 0 1, that will be a 0. So I will get 0.535 liters, or I can call it 535,000 liters. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, in this case, again, I have to find the difference between the cost prices of the two items. So difference, I have to take the greater amount minus the smaller amount. Okay, greater minus smaller. So which is greater? Okay, I'm going to draw my place value chart to compare. So decimal point on the line. Remember, always have to align. Okay, so the first one is Pokemon watch, $8.50. And my fairies doll set will be 24. Okay, so $24. That will be a whole number which is on the left of your decimal point. Okay, so those of you who already caught this amount, that would be $24.00. So we can add in the 2 zeros behind if you want. Okay, then let's draw the lines to separate each digit to help us in comparing. Okay, so that we can see that decimal point is between the ones place and the tens place. So the T and THS, the tens. And on the left of the ones would be our tens place. Okay, so comparing nothing tens and 2 tens. So nothing is a 0. So 0 tens and 2 tens, which is greater. That would be a 2 tens that is greater than 0.10. So this is a greater amount and the Pokemon watch is a smaller amount. Okay, so let's subtract greater minus smaller. So the fairy's doll set is $24 and the Pokemon watch is $8.50. Okay, so you realize that there's two missing digits over here. So I'm going to add in my 0, which is nothing and nothing. Okay, then I can start subtracting from the right to left. 0 hundredths minus 0 hundredths, that will give me 0 hundredths. Okay, next, 0 tenths minus 5 tenths. 0 minus 5, I think that's not enough. So I have to go to the next door, the ones place, to regroup. So I take away 1, 1, left with 3 ones. And that will give me 10 tenths. Okay, so 10 tenths minus 5 tenths, that will give me 5 tenths. And 3 ones minus 8 ones, I don't think that's enough to take away 8 ones. So I have to go next door to regroup the tens. So I take away 1 10, I'm left with 1 10. And regroup it and get 13 ones. Okay, so 13 ones minus 8 ones will be 5 ones. And 110 minus nothing. Nothing is 0. So 110 minus 010 is 110. So my difference between the two items would be $15 and 50 cents. Okay, so when you do your nearpod and your Womo, remember that your decimal points need to be aligned in one straight line. Okay, please use a ruler to help you draw the straight line and put in your decimal points. All right, I think you are ready to start your nearpod and Womo now. If you have any questions, you can email Miss Ong or you can join the Zoom to consult me. Okay?